advice do you have for young women who turn to OnlyFans for solely financial reasons? What else could they do for money?
Literally anything else. You're not going to have a life of comfort. You're not going to have a life of like whatever you see on Instagram. I mean, I slept on friends' couches. I actually had a friend, ironically, in Miami who, like, we were best friends all through high school, went to a club one night, and our luck somehow ended up with, like, meeting, you know, Wyclef and Lil Wayne, and she just turned the whole life. And I remember I was so broke, and she was living in like a condo in Miami. We were in our early 20s, and I was visiting her coming from school, and she gave up school, you know, sleeping with everybody, Drake, you know, just, but she was living in, like, you know, imagine I'm like 20 years old, and I was 19, I think, and she was living, it just looked like she had so much, you know? And,
Where's she at now?
well, I'm gonna update you on her story real quick, right? And she was so innocent, but then she just was effing everybody, and every rapper was paying for her. And I remember vividly crying on the phone with my friend named Devin, and I was just like, it's so unfair. She has everything, and it's like, if only I just slept with this guy, like I could have everything that he has. And he said, Candace, if you think that in 10 years your life is not going to be better than hers, you're out of your mind. Just promise you, stop being friends with her. After I just couldn't look at her do this to her life anymore. And 10 years later, almost to the day, I was with Charlie Kirk. We walked into the Four Seasons Hotel in Los Angeles, and she was the hostess.
Young women everywhere needs to hear that message. Welcome, everyone. This is Talks with Kenny here today. We're going to give an analysis about Candace Owens' advice to young women. And I like that anecdotal story that she mentioned. And I'm starting to think that, you know, as a man, actually, I start realizing that you just, like, you know how you cater your message to different audiences, and I'm starting to understand that. And, you know, I've been watching Fresh and Fit videos for a while now, and Candace Owens, I really watched a lot of where Candace Owens was involved in with those guys. And she kind of changed the whole dynamic of the show. The show was very more direct, very much so confrontational whenever the girls make, you know, maybe illogical statements like I feel like and all the other such. But when Candace was on, it took a different kind of form, right? I told my wife, because me and my wife was watching it, and I was like, hey, this feels like a therapy session, right? And in a way it is. And I think this is kind of the more, I think, productive way of actually getting women to change their minds, right? Because I notice whenever I talk, and I'm still going to talk about women's stuff, right? Honestly, because at the end of the day, you need both sides. You need the direct, you need the harsh, tough love, and then you need the soft, catering, empathetic love of a mother. And I think what Candace portrayed in this clip, in the intro that you saw, really highlighted how different women and men communicate, come to understand something, right? And I honestly think it was beneficial. I think it was very informative. I think that what Candace is going to outline in this next clip I'm about to show you guys. And don't forget to like the video. It really helps out the channel. It helps out the videos if you guys like. I'm not going to ask for subscriptions. I'm just going to ask for likes, because I really want this video and a lot of young women to get this message, because it seems like Candace was able to connect with the usual sex worker, OnlyFans girl a lot more effectively than even Myron and Fresh and Fit. And I think this is kind of what I always ask conservative women to be more outspoken, I guess, because it seems like that's what's needed in our culture. Because at the end of the day, the current incentives that's in place is tempting women a lot. And I believe that Candace, from firsthand experience, could show a different route, a different option. And before I go into the next clip, I know I've been like kind of talking for a while. I kind of want to highlight a book that I think it would be like very beneficial to anyone, man, woman. As you guys know, I'm a Stoic. So I have this book called The Obstacle is the Way. And essentially what Candace is pointing out here is how she leveraged an obstacle. Hey, immediate gratification. Damn, if I just sleep with this guy, I can immediately get all these accolades that I want up front, right? It's just I have to compromise my abilities, my integrity, right? Maybe going for the path of least resistance. And it's always been the struggle of human nature, because inherently, due to our nature, we're more lenient towards laziness and doing what's easier, the path of least resistance. And it brings in my head the concept of virtue versus vice. Vice is doing the path of least resistance, but you're compromising maybe your character, your integrity, your beliefs, where virtue is, despite how hard or how easy it is to do the other option, that you don't want to compromise your character or integrity. just to get a certain outcome. And I think this is the path that's facing many young people, but especially young women, because right now they have a lot of leverage, right now they have a lot of influence, and right now they have a lot of power in our society. And I think that the choices and decisions that they're making is giving them this negative outcome, like hookup culture, men not wanting to marry because now they're not seen as wife material. And it's breathing a lot of negative ills in our culture, in our society. But enough talking with me. Let's get into the rest of this clip. Let's take a look.
How working?
Oh shit!
So it's, you know, you make a deal with the devil, and then
Who recognized who
guess
first?
what? I mean, both of us, we were
Immediately
literally
recognized.
best friends.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, like inseparable sisters, and like the temptation, the money, the whatever from that one night. And she threw herself at the rappers too. Like it wasn't like one, it was Wyclef Jean. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like he was being like, she threw herself at him, whole thing. And it was wild. And actually, funny enough, then I went and started working out of school, and I was working in private equity. And my boss got married, and he wanted to get Wyclef Jean. So I hadn't seen Wyclef since and then I saw him, and he said to me, I'll never forget this, in the elevator, I am so proud of you for where you ended up in life. And like, because you just knew that I was the friend that said no.
Wow.
She was a friend that said yes. And so when I say this stuff to women, I understand how easy it is, and I understand how hard it is to like get off your feet. And I was the person crying, being like, oh my God, it could be so easy. But I'm telling you, like, it's just not worth it, you know? Like, it's not worth it. The person that you can attract, there's just so much more to life. And I want all of you guys to just like hear that message and know that like you just don't have to like live in the fast lane, you know? Live in the slow lane.
Isn't that
We
crazy?
need to clip that and send that
Yes.
to every girl that's 21 that wants to be a bottle rat and do all this like 304 shit.
By the way,
Real talk, man.
we had a girl on the show from Brazil. Remember, she was considering OnlyFans. Well, guess what? She did it. She made one. I wish she was here to hear that conversation, because she made her OnlyFans like 2 days ago.
It's being broke, it feels so permanent when you're in
By the
it.
way, I didn't buy it. Her friend told me. That's all I know.
Okay.
Just
Sorry, you were saying,
sorry,
Candace?
go ahead.
Sorry.
Just like
may I
when
ask
you're
you a
being
question?
broke,
I'm
when you're
sorry.
broke and you're in it, it feels like it's just like, how am I ever gonna like get out of this? But I also tell people, because my faith is intact, that looking in the retrospect, every single challenge that God gives you, like he picks you uniquely for those challenges. You know what I mean? And I'm so grateful for being broke. I'm so grateful for like when I was sleeping in my car, sleeping on someone's couch, sleeping in someone's closet, like just trying to like stay alive in New York, because I know that it was like his perfect design to have me go through those experiences, because there was something bigger at the end of that, where like now I can speak with authority when I'm like talking to Destiny, and he's like, are you lying about being poor? This is the dumbest question I've ever had. It was so dumb. But I can speak with authority because I've been there. You know, I'm not saying this, I think I'm better than you. Like I know what options face a woman when they're young, you know, but don't do a deal with the devil.
I love that you said there's a choice, because there's a choice. Women choose some of these bad choices. Okay.
Choice. Decision making. As much as I want to say, hey, you know, your environment, it played a part. I know you was going through some money struggles and all that, but end of the day, everyone has to make a choice. And when you make that choice, you have to accept the actions and consequences that's come with it, right? And I want to continue talking about like recognizing perception, because I think that is what is really needed right now. And I think, as you guys know on this channel, I preach about understanding virtue. What is virtue, right? Virtue is the discipline of perception, right? Because that's essentially what Candace is kind of articulating there. Is like, what meaning do you want your life to have, right? And this is why I don't believe this atheistic standard of, oh, life is meaningless. You can do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting anybody, whatever the hell that means. But in a way, you are hurting people. If you're giving them ideas, if you're rationalizing behavior, if you're pushing degeneracy, as Candace will say when she was debating Destiny, you're essentially giving the okay, or you're giving confirmation that, oh, there's nothing wrong with your choices. This is why a lot of conservatives like me, I want shame to come back, because shame nudges people from preventing them from doing a decision that in general will make most women unhappy. I don't think most women want to be on OnlyFans. I don't think most women want to do sex work, but they feel like they have to, because that's the perception that they've been given. And I think a lot of our culture enables a lot of young women to make bad decisions. So before I end off the video, I want to give up some points about what is the discipline of perception. Discipline of perception demands these things from you: to be objective as much as you can, to control your emotions and keep an even keel, to choose to see the good in a situation. This is why the book is called The Obstacle is the Way, because whatever the obstacle is pretty much the direction you need to go, right? Because there's a thing that I grew up learning, And I think this is maybe my own personal quote, but if you do what's easy, your life will be hard. If you do what's hard, your life will be easy. And essentially what I'm saying is you pick your struggle. Either you want the hard up front or you get the hard later on, right? But you're going to face struggle. You're going to face obstacle, right? And rather, if you get the obstacle up front, you'll be prepared for bigger obstacles in the future. But if you already folded at the first obstacle you get, life is going to show you a very harsh lesson. And I think that is the argument that the idea of prescribing meaning, why you have to be disciplined, why people who can delay gratification tend to be more successful than people who can't delay gratification. And essentially, this is what it is, women. Women, you have a choice. You have to delay gratification. Dating is like investing in a stock. If you choose to waste your money, aka what the fresh and fit people will call your sexual market value, if you waste it up front, don't be mad when the men are more expensive later on, right? Like Amazon was cheaper the day it IPO'd. That's the cheapest time you ever to buy Amazon stock. Now try to buy Amazon stock after it's become a big name company, multi-trillion-dollar company. The stock prices is what? More expensive. Now, most women can't afford Amazon. Men operate the same way. Did I just make an analogy by making women investors and men stocks? Crazy. But exactly that's how it works. Because you get all your blessings up front, women. And men get all their blessings as they work for it. Men don't work, men don't eat. This just something to think about. To be steady to steady our nerves, to ignore what disturbs or limit others, to place things in perspective, to revert to the present moment, to focus on what we can control. And I think that's a very important point that a lot of women need to understand, because I noticed a lot in feminist language, even in a red pill in some cases, they focus on a lot of things that they cannot control instead of focusing on things they can control, which is usually your own personal choice, your own personal actions. How can I make this situation less worse? Right. And I think that women are being tempted. And I understand women have a different type of hard than men. Men's hard is I'm trying to make a name for myself. I'm trying to get people to care about me. I'm trying to get people to respect me, acknowledge me. Women, on their hands, is like their hard is, yo, I have all these options. I have all these things. Society's trying to push me into a position that in the long run will hurt me, make me statistically unhappy. Liberal women are the least happiest people in America. And they're the ones who tend to engage in sex work, who tend to be more approving of sex work, tend to be fine with this stuff. And they're the least happiest people in the world. They're less likely to prescribe by gender roles. They're less likely to be married, right? They're more likely to see nothing wrong with a single woman. But the stats have shown time and time again, liberal women have mental health issues. So why are women listening to these women that's predominantly on TikTok that's pushing them to go down a certain route? Because it's perceived to be popular. Especially there's a generational divide between Gen Z. Most men are right-leaning. Most women are left-leaning, right? Liberal women are filtering out men that are conservative. So literally you're making decisions. These are decisions that liberal women make as a group. And all I'm saying is, just like I'll tell black people, hey, a lot of your problems is self-inflicted. A lot of your problems are just the results of your own internal decision-making and actions. And I think that's something young women need to hear, right? And this is me talking. I guess I'm in my fatherly mode as a father of two sons. If I ever have a daughter, this is something I would tell her. But you guys, let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section below. Do you believe women need to hear more of this? This thinking from women, other women? I don't know what is the best way to get women to understand the choices and path and choices that they'll have to make in their lives. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I really be interested to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys for watching to the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.